Hi guys, this is a new range of squat rack from Body Iron Australia. This is a multi-purpose adjustable squat rack in terms of the height or the different pegs height of the squat rack. As you can see, the base of the squat rack is the squat rack itself. It also comes with the solid base, spotter arms, safety spotter arms, and also the top beam with the chin-up attachment attached to it. That's the base of the rack. It also includes an additional extra or an optional extra of this back part, which is the cable attachment. Now, as you can see, starting from this top black beam and the bottom black beam, this attachment is attached to those two little parts. This additional part, it's a plate loaded, which is not included as part of the attachment for lat pull down or chin up downs, and also the low row or bicep curl machines. Now we will take you through some of the common tips that we apply to our customers in assembling of any of these squat racks. So something specific to this squat rack, just like any other squat racks, when you're assembling it, always make sure you're assembling the product on an even floor. We always recommend, or we always prefer that you assemble it on rubber flooring to take away any kind of shock or any kind of unevenness of the floor. Now, as you're assembling the product, we always recommend you always make sure that all these bolts, they are not tightened at the beginning. You put the items together, the parts together with the bolts with only hand tighten, where there's still room for movement. That way, what it will allow you is to adjust any kind of angle to put all the bolts through. Just in case if you mistakenly tighten the bolts on one angle, you're going to have a hard time at aligning the other bolts on the other side. Now I will take you through on the main part without the optional attachment and some tips regarding the assembling of the product. As you can see, it comes with the rubber stoppers and it has two bolts. So you'll see there's two other empty bolts, just ignore them for this part. These two come here, and it also has an added structural stability plates for the back support part. So always make sure you have these plates assembled, otherwise you're compromising the structural integrity of the product. These are adjustable parts. However, as part of the top, it also has again a structural stability plate on the side. And one very important feature about this squat rack, as it is on an angle, you will see this beam is completely vertical or upright. However, these plates are on an angle. When you're assembling it, you need to make sure this angle line up with the angle of the upright part, and this beam is completely vertical and upright. Once you have fully assembled the squat rack, only then we recommend you tighten all the bolts. Now, another feature of the squat rack is it has plate loaded added stability option. This is purely for storage of plates, but at the same time, if you're going to be using the chin up, we recommend that we use your body weight plus weight plates on these pegs. As you can see, it has the squat as well as this beam here. So you just need to make sure this part has the angle part attached on top of it, and the beam attached on the outside, not on the inside of it. So you can angle and then the beam. That's the order. Now we will take you through tips for assembling the added optional extra for the cable attachments. Now, again, the same principle apply. Assemble the product on flat surface, preferably on rubber flooring, and do not tighten all the bolts at the beginning. Wait till you finish assembling the product, only then tighten the bolts so everything line up perfectly and accurately. Now, some of the main common features or some of the common tips that we always recommend customers, as you can see, we can break this back part into two different parts. Now, firstly, you have the top beam attaching to the top beam of the actual rack. Then you have the back part where the weights will slide up and down. and you have the bottom beam attaching to the bottom beam of the actual rack. We recommend assembling these three parts first. Then what we will recommend is feeding the pulleys into the pulley sockets. Now, as you'll notice, this part that attaches the leg locking mechanism, we do not recommend putting it until the end of the assembly. The reason for it, you'll notice this one has a pulley housing or a pulley casing. If you put this together first, you're not going to be able to feed the bolt through. Now, once you have fed all the pulleys into the pulley sockets, then you will feed the cables through. Now, you'll find there is one longer cable and one shorter cable. The longer cable will be for the lap pull down attachment. Now, if you come across here, you'll see there's a ball end that will go onto the lap pull down attachment side with the carabiner clip. It fed all the way through the top, down across, up over the pulley, and all the way to the bottom where the weight plates attach with the carabiner clip down here. The longer clip attaches with the low rope, again with the ball end with the attachment side, feeding through the bottom, coming up across through this middle pulley here, and again attached by the carabiner clip to the bottom end. You'll see there are three different attachment heights. This is purely for maintaining the correct tension of the pulleys. So you can adjust the height of this pulley in any of these pulley holes just to make sure you maintain the correct tension. Now, once you have assembled the bottom piece, back piece, and the top piece, you have put all the pulleys through and fed the cables through the pulley housing. Only then we recommend assembling the side part, which is the structural beam or the structural integrity part. Once these two parts has been assembled, then we will assemble the leg locking mechanism for your lap pull down. Now, one great feature of this leg locking mechanism is a pop pin. So as you can see, if you undo this, pull, and it'll lock into the correct height. That way you can always work out to the correct biomechanical advantage.